Balake. Where is Balake at?
My name's Blake.
Do you want to go to war, Balake? I'm for real. Aaron.
Hey, Aaron is right here. Thanks for joining me, everyone. So there is a chance David Miscavige is going to be in Chicago this weekend. It is not for sure, but I would encourage any of you out there to show up at the addresses that we're going to discuss here today and see if you can get a photograph of the Keebler King. You may have to ratchet up the zoom on your camera. He really is a tiny little fella, but you know, it would be interesting to get a photograph of him if possible. I've been hearing that he doesn't look very well these days. So I'd be a little surprised if he makes any public appearances at all. But here, let me show you what we're talking about here. So this is on Mike Rinder's blog. This was on February 4th. He goes, Chicago Ideal Org grand opening on February 11th. Now, Ideal Org is what Scientology calls it when an existing Church of Scientology buys and renovates a new massive 50,000 plus square foot building for its existing organization. These buildings are like 10 times bigger than anything the existing org could possibly need. But when that is all done, the org is called an ideal org. So Mike says, we've seen in the Thursday funnies a lot of mentions of Chicago's Don't Miss event on 11 February. Someone just sent me this video, obviously produced by some SMP is Scientology Media Productions. It's Scientology's in-house. They shoot TV spots and commercials and very professionally done videos. So actually, why don't we take a look at this video? I have not watched this yet, so we'll watch it together. Let's check this out. Interesting. That definitely does seem like it would be for the grand opening of the Chicago org. So Mike continues, methinks this is an awful lot of effort for a local event. Add to that the fact that they are not announcing where the event is going to be held. Venue to be determined. Okay, save the date, 11 Feb, special announcement, Chicago Ideal Org, all Scientologists to attend. These things would indicate Mr. Mickey-Witz, bit of an inside joke there. Mr. Mickey-Witz is planning on yanking his ribbon in Chicago on February 11th. They are promoting it like crazy, but cannot say it is the grand opening because he doesn't want the outside world to know. If I was a gambling man, I would bet February 11 is going to be the ribbon yanking, but Miscavige is worried about process servers being present, so nobody's allowed to say it out loud. Will be interesting to see what sort of activity there is in the building at 642 South Clark Street in the days leading up to February 11. Now, the address for the new building is actually 650 South Clark Street, but some of the articles that talk about this building make reference to the buildings nearby and give the addresses nearby. So I actually found the article where that misunderstanding probably came from. Mike says, if it is not the ribbon yanking, these people are really off their rockers, ordering everyone to attend the most important event ever, but they haven't got a venue for it. Now, this blog post was about 5 days ago, but Mike did another one this morning showing the new poster showing the actual location for the event. So Chicago, finishing what we started. Saturday 11, special announcement, all Scientologists to attend. Union League, Club of Chicago, Crystal Ballroom, 65 West Jackson Boulevard, Chicago, Illinois. Now, look, if we look at a map here, you can see that 65 West Jackson Boulevard, where they are allegedly holding this big event, is only an 8-minute walk north from the actual Ideal Org building at 650 South Clark Street. When Scientology has a fully renovated, giant, beautiful building just sitting there waiting to be opened, why in the world would they pay to rent space, to rent a hall, an event venue, just an 8-minute walk away from the building. They could just hold the event in their own building. Something is really not adding up here. Now, if we look at this recent image of the Chicago property at 650 South Clark Street, you can see this is a fully renovated building. I mean, the new Scientology sign is even sitting right there on the front of the building with a drape over it. Usually on these ideal or grand openings, you've got a giant ribbon around the building and everything. And yet I really have to say that in the environment that we're in right now, with David Miscavige avoiding service in 2 or 3 lawsuits, there really is no way in hell Miscavige is making a public appearance on the streets of Chicago at an event that is being telegraphed ahead of time. I really don't think that's even on the table. And yet it would be unprecedented for Miscavige not to show up for an ideal or grand opening event. So how might they try and get around this? I suspected this might actually just be a recruitment event. By the way, this building has been in the works, somewhere in the process of being purchased, renovated, and opened for over 8 years. 8 years for the only Scientology organization in one of the biggest cities in the United States to raise enough money and get the work done to actually buy and renovate and open this building. I suspected this event that's being promoted might have been the recruitment event to hire enough staff to be able to open this building. One of the reasons this building has not been opened in 8 years is they simply can't find enough staff. They can't recruit enough staff, transfer enough staff, whatever, to open the damn building. So I thought this might be a recruitment event, and yet there's no way the type of promo material that we just watched was put together for just a recruitment event. This very well may be the first ideal or grand opening event that is done without a massive outdoor fanfare production type thing going on. And if that were to be the case, it really would be because of all the legal threats against Miscavige. I'm thinking there's a possibility that this event is going to be advertised as occurring at the 65 West Jackson Street location, that all the Scientology public will go there, and perhaps they will be walked down 8 minutes south to the Chicago Org building, where perhaps that's really going to be where Miscavige is. I mean, this is just pure speculation, but it's hard to really understand how these pieces could fit together in a way that makes sense. And so therefore, any of you out there anywhere near the Chicago area, maybe you want to go check out both of these locations over the next few days, particularly on the 11th. Again, we're talking 650 South Clark Street and 65 West Jackson Boulevard. Maybe you want to sort of stake out both locations, take some photos of what's going on there on the 11th. But if you get any photos of Scientology goers, people who are obviously Scientology goers, or David Miscavige, Mr. Mickey Witz himself, send those photos to me at growingupinscientology@gmail.com, and I will be happy to publish them. This really would be a humiliation if Miscavige was forced to do an ideal org opening in secret. Usually they close down streets. They have everything blocked off. He's got a podium. He's got a stage. They have leaders from the city government and the state government that they've tricked into showing up to speak at their event. If they open up the Chicago Org in secret, that really would be a huge embarrassment for Mr. Mickey Witz himself. We'll know soon enough, everybody. That's all I got on this for now. I have much more to come today, so stay tuned for all that. Thanks, everybody, for watching and listening. Thanks to everyone who watches until the very end, and I'll talk to you soon.
Okay, if you want to see my rock and roll songs, click right on this guitar. And if you want to see a different one of my videos, then you could click right inside here. If you have subscribed or not, subscribe right here. Bye.